Here we are with fresh haircuts, at least one of us, on the fourth episode of the Trash Talk Business Podcast. As always, I'm Andy Weins, joined by my co-host, Casey Bubba Lawrence. Casey with the fresh fade. How the hell are you today, sir?
I'm pretty freaking good. How you doing?
Good. Whatever happened with your ankle? Did you figure that situation out?
Yeah, I did. I realized
that natural incident.
It's fine. It's not broken. Still swollen though. I just sprained the shit out of it, really.
Okay. Well, a lot cooler if you had a better story than that, but apparently that's your only story. All right. For those of you that just tuning in, Casey, mid-30s, white male, out with other Army buddies in the greater town of Nashville, encountered 25 to 30
It's more like 20
juvenile males, college age, lots of testosterone, not a lot of fighting skills. So they're no shit there. They were 25, 30 college kids against 12 to 15 veterans on a reunion. Things worked out well, except for Casey's ankle, which did not get broken. And his face looked fine. So what matters.
Yes.
All right. And that's what we do here. I think the first couple episodes, we're really leaning into this thing is, what does the Trash Talk Business Podcast mean? Well, we're going to talk business. We both have a background in the junk removal industry and recycling and demo, and we'll just call it solid waste. And then, there's going to be some inevitable, shit talking, as one does when you got a couple of military vets that are passionate about all the things that they do. So without further ado, Casey, I have no idea what the answer is because that's not how, we have zero prep. We just press the button. What are we talking about today, Casey?
Man, we're going to dive right back into recycling because last time we didn't really get a chance to finish up just because it's not really a short topic.
All right.
I believe last time we talked a lot about scrap metal, and I kind of want to get in more about the different aspects of recycling and kind of share the different types of recycling I personally got into down here that I never even heard of, but all it took was just asking questions, calling around, and doing the grunt work, really.
All right, let's jump into it. I mean, last episode we talked about horseshit recycling. Yeah. And the next day I hopped on my computer, whatever, we shoot these on Monday. I hopped on my computer on Tuesday, and I'm closing out tabs, and I was like, why in the fuck was I looking up horseshit? I was like, oh yeah, we talked about recycling horseshit. So if you didn't catch that in episode 3, there's a great segment on how to recycle horseshit, and we figured out the math of how much horseshit weighs. That's it.
It's pretty simple.
All right. So what are some of those things? Because when you got into junk removal, you didn't know your ass from the hole.
Right.
Like, you knew that you wanted to be in business for yourself. Your father now runs a business. You knew you didn't know enough about marketing, so you're like, all right, I'll get with this franchise. And then you're like, hey, they're going to teach me everything I fucking need to know. Turns out, no. And then also, you didn't, not coming from this industry, you didn't understand the opportunity when it comes to recycling. So talk about, I think what's interesting here is let's talk about that journey a little bit on your end.
Yeah.
Because in the last episode, we talked about me and my journey growing up with it. But with you and your journey is a little bit different. So what were some of the things, those aha moments you had early on? And then what were some of those things, like you just said, that you didn't even know you could recycle?
So like, first of all, the reason you get into a franchise is because you're hoping to invest in something that's turnkey. Something that you kind of hit the ground running. They've already had their shit figured out. And especially marketing. Marketing's huge. People understand how fucking difficult marketing is for a new business. And their answer was, hey, I got a 20-something-year-old chick who loves to be on social media, and that's pretty much our fucking solution. Like, she'll show you how to post on Facebook and fucking Instagram and Twitter. Okay, well, cool. No offense, but junk removal doesn't thrive on fucking social media as far as that goes. So we kind of had to get past that and realize we actually are doing our own business here. Let's mind our own business. But yeah, when we first started doing things, man, we didn't really have a setup to facilitate a bunch of back end shit like recycling and resale and donations. So we had to make it work with what we had. Like for instance, if we did a big job and we knew everything was good and we still had to come back for another trailer. Well, we only had one trailer, so we would make a run to like Goodwill or something and just drop shit off for donation, and then head back and get another trailer. You know what? Zero disposal. That's good enough. But as we kind of grew, we started realizing not just on the resale end, but you know, why are we throwing so much shit away? Like it's insane because it doesn't just cost a lot of money. It's fucking terrible for just our look. If you don't want to be a tree hugger, think about your local economy, just draw a radius around your own fucking neighborhood and how bad certain shit is for your own neighborhood. If you want to get selfish on that level, dude, we were throwing so much shit away. You're just like, this is going to sit here for 1,000 fucking years. Like it'll never break down. Or no, we can get away with throwing this shit away because there's no other way to take it anywhere responsibly without spending a bunch of money. So we looked into recycling a little bit more. And I think I had talked to you a little bit already, but the recycling aspect, there's pretty much two ways of doing it. A, you do it from the ground up. You learn everything you can about it, and it'll take time, it'll take money, and it'll take resources. Or B, you trust someone else to do it, which 9 times out of 10, they're not going to fucking do it how you're supposed to do it. And the biggest reason why recycling doesn't work for the general public, it's not because there's not opportunity. It's because they don't know how to fucking do it. When you have 10 different pieces of plastic and only 1 or 2 of them is actually easy to recycle, guess what they're going to do? Hey, just put it in this bin along with glass and whatever else. That's recyclable. And we'll take care of it.
Yeah. Well, and that's correct. You also have to have the scope and scale. Like there's e-waste. I've always been fascinated with e-waste because there's a lot of money in e-waste. And a lot of people are like, oh, don't you process your own e-waste? I don't. Mm-hmm. I sort it and then I ship it out because for me, it's not worth it. Now, at our facility here, we bale our own cardboard. We separate all our wood that gets sent off and chipped up. Mm-hmm. We scrap all of our ferrous and non-ferrous metal down to, gaylords that are shipped within reason, right? We sort wire by 3 different grades. We sort copper by 2 grades, aluminum by like 8 or 9 grades. So reasonable amount, right? We ship out probably 24 different SKUs if I look at that. But then when it comes to e-waste, I we put towers in one spot, laptops in another, and that's kind of it.
Yeah, I actually ventured into that a little bit.
And I ventured into it enough to know that I don't know enough. Right? I took apart a shitload of computers to be like, okay, I put this time into it, but I don't know fucking this kind of circuit board versus that kind of circuit board. And I learned it, and I wasn't, to that point, I wasn't fucking passionate.
It's because it's the same aspect as your metal recycling. Like, you got to have that passion. Now, you knew metal recycling like the back of your hand. The issue is,
and I gave it.
Yeah, and look how long it took you to really get to where you were. You're like, in order for me to do this as good, I'd have to have a passion for it from pretty much the beginning, to where I can look at something and be like, okay, this is exactly what it is. This is exactly what it contains, and this is my net. Now, like for us, man, I started getting real fucking creative because recycling is great. Don't get me wrong. It's not the cheapest. It's not the most economical for a small business, but it's also a really good marketing ploy as well as it is good for the fucking environment, man. So we started looking at everything we get, and if we couldn't donate it and we couldn't resell it and it wasn't like a straight fucking trash bag, no, how can we recycle it, right? Well, for us, like I started calling so many people. For instance, I had a mattress recycler, an actual mattress recycler. Like, they would pay me, they'd pay me $5 a mattress, and I'm like, okay, well, and then I was like, what do you do with them? Oh yeah, we strip them down and we redo them. And if it's too bad, we scrap the metal, we scrap this. I'm like, holy shit. And like 30% of their mattresses were going to shelters. So it was a pretty cool deal. And, I did the math. I just did some statistics on mattresses one year, and just the United States throws away 40 million mattresses per year, which equates, if you had an average full-size mattress, it equates to twice around the world. You can line them up in a line and go around the world twice.
Were you doing fucking research before our call today? You sound very well rehearsed.
I've been fucking drinking a little bit, so it's kind of focusing me.
just remembering random facts.
Well, I just remember I did a campaign on it because I was like, look, what is one thing people hate trying to get rid of, and they're not easy and they suck, and that's mattresses, man.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah, even down to the. Actually, I was back in my mattress room today. A whole fucking load of twin size mattresses fell. I don't know. I mean, one's probably just slick, and maybe it rained like a drop, and all of a sudden, like I watched it, I was like, "What the fuck?" And I was like, "Oh, like I don't know what the fuck it was." Like you get one that's oddball, and then we don't get hurricane winds up here in Wisconsin or earthquakes, and there's a fucking stack of mattresses on the ground. Yeah, they take up space. They don't move well because they're fucking.
They don't compress well.
They don't compress. You can't put them on a fucking. You can palletize. We've palletized them and moved around the forklift. You lose half of them every fucking load. Even size wise, the different sizes fit but don't really fit. Like a 1 inch or 2 inch difference in one direction makes a fucking
pillow
difference.
top, not a pillow top. Oh yeah.
Pillow tops terrible for stacking. The ones that got like the piss. Whatever the cheapy ones that we've gotten from different places that have the same ones we have in the military.
The waterproof ones.
I've had in the military. Waterproof ones. Yeah, I was going to the piss card. Right? Can't stack on those. Remember, mattresses are a pain in the ass. We have a company out of Rockford, Illinois. We ship our mattresses to. It's a $0 exchange. So here's where I had this argument. We lose money recycling mattresses. We lose it. But we also don't incur the cost of put them in the landfill. Yeah. Now, mattresses don't weigh a lot. Up in Minnesota, they have a core charge. It's like $30 a fucking mattress because when you put a mattress in the landfill, it springs fucking back. So it doesn't take up a lot of weight in the landfill, but it takes up space. Yeah. In landfills have so many years on them, and almost every fucking landfill I've gone to is like, oh, this is a 30-year landfill. And you're like, you're 10 years into it. How much you got left? They're like 7 years. I'm like, that ain't good fucking. Right? It was a 30-year landfill when they built it, but we as consumers, again, stats-wise, I was looking this up the other day for a trivia thing. It was like we as consumers produce 4.5 pounds of trash a day. Right? It is way up to where it was 20, 30 years ago when they built landfills with these expectations. And we are flipping furniture faster, whatever. So going back to mattresses, we store them. We store between 120 to 175 mattresses at a crack, and we ship out about 150 fit on a 53-foot semi. Again, if you have more kings, it's less. If you have more twins, it's more. But so I have to unload the mattresses versus dumping them in the landfill, right? Which is a press of a button. So I have to unload them. I have to put them in a warehouse and store them. And then stack them. And then once they get high, I have to restack them up on a higher shelf. And then I have to take them all down. And then I have to put them in my backyard. And then when the semi gets here, I have to load them in there. That costs time, energy, and money. The first time we did it was like 4.5 hours to load a 53-foot semi. This last time we did it a couple of weeks ago, it took us like 70 minutes. We got it down to like a minute 10. Now, that was because our warehouse guy spent like 2 hours fucking prepping them, had them lined up. He knows exactly how to fucking pump them in there. And it was a perfect like 55-degree day where it was like not hot, not cold. The guys wanted it done. But at the end of the day, I pay for my building. I got 20,000 square foot warehouse, but mattresses take up 500, maybe 800 square feet of my warehouse once I start fucking packing in. And we have a room called the mattress room, and then we have an overflow area, and that's when we know that area is starting to fill up. That's when we got to call them in. So I take the time to sort them. I take the time to store them. Then I take the time to fucking load them. If I did a true break-even analysis, it's probably cheaper just to put them in the fucking landfill.
It's always
no core charge.
So I can't say always, but it's a lot of times it's actually cheaper to throw shit away than recycling. So, but that's a huge thing that really boosted our business, because I was telling people all the time, I was like, look, for instance, paint. I don't know how many times I got to turn down paint because it's hazmat, but I was thinking like, man, I could literally have a side hustle. I just have to get the licensing, but I could do a side business, just hazardous material, just paint. And the problem was the licensing and permitting. You'd have to like fill your damn schedule picking up paint. And
it is a lot of. Well, it goes back to what we said before. The same reason I do e-waste. It's all about scale. You have to have the scale. And
like the cities around here, they'll do like monthly green days where, hey, bring your shit to this place at a school or a park dump it for free if it's hazardous, light bulbs, paint, dead hookers, whatever, and they'll take care of them for you for free. But yeah, I'm a lot more fun when I fucking drink, dude.
Yeah, what the fuck? We're you're in prime podcasting form.
Yeah, it's great.
The FCC don't audit these fucking airwaves, and we got our fucking logo with just a couple of jabronis with a truck and an excavator.
Jabroni.
Like, I'm not saying you're gonna have to have a fucking Yeti on there, but I mean, let's be honest, we're whatever it is, 15 minutes in the podcast. We're bound to say something stupid.
Yeah.
If people have stuck around this long, God bless.
And you know what? Honestly, there's like no proof about dead hookers, so I mean, I'm not worried about it.
No. It's like when they have those gun drives, and they're like, "Hey, turn in guns," and people show up with fucking RPGs, right? Like, how the hell did that happen? Or like guys show up with like 30 mic rounds, or you show up like a 155, be like, "Hey,
you said guns.
You said no questions asked." Yeah. Like, you said no questions asked. How no questions asked do you want to be?
Well, and that's the thing is, and that was actually a big hit for us because they'd have a big dumpster there and they'd be like, hey, you can bring your bulk. Yeah. So the way we got around it was, well, we're not going to just go chunk this. And I was really good. Yeah. Like, I was really well in with the cities around me, not just the city managers, but like the mayors and shit. And I would dive in and be like, hey, how can I help the city? And they're like, man, we're tired of paying a premium to throw shit away. And I'm like, well, it all goes to the landfill. I mean, they ain't doing the responsible thing, because all you have to do, if you break the rules of the trash company and say, hey, if they're like, hey, put everything recyclable in this blue bag. Here's the issue with that. Yeah. They're not going to undo the blue bag. They're not. Now, if you just say, hey, here's my tub of recycling, if they see one piece of trash in it, that's now trash. It's all going to the trash. So when we started recycling, we were like, what do we get the most of at every job? Well, here's one thing that we didn't think about at first. We get cardboard in almost every single type of job we do. Not just house, but I mean, even construction cleanup, because everything comes in fucking boxes.
Jobs like cleanup, house, commercial, everything. I mean, because there is shit that people put in boxes, or boxes that people store. I was at a job this morning cleaning it out, and there's cardboard boxes everywhere. And and cardboard's a pain in the ass. Again, it doesn't stack well. It's kind of fucking flimsy, kind of pain in the ass. But yeah, it adds up. Yeah. And otherwise, if you want to take it directly to the landfill, it's going to. Waste Management years ago had a huge initiative where they went into landfills where they knew there was a shitload of cardboard, and they brought in front end loaders, and they pulled like millions of dollars of cardboard out of landfills across the country. Yeah. Like, they would get a pocket or a vein of a shitload of cardboard. But to that end, it's a challenge, especially in our society, in the American society, because we have two things that a lot of countries don't have. We have a shitload of land, and we have a shitload of resources. So we have both, right? Some countries, a lot of countries, especially European countries, they don't have land. So they're very particular about what they recycle, because people have been, on top of each other in the same areas for hundreds of years, and they've run out of land. Mm-hmm. And then you have other countries where they don't have a lot of resources, as in they don't produce a lot of things. And I think of like African nations, for example. Right? They don't have they have plenty of land, but they don't produce a lot. Yeah. And they don't consume a lot, so they don't have a lot, right? Especially cardboard. We get fucking every time you order Amazon, you get 4 fucking boxes, right? Yeah. So because of that, when you have a lot of land and you have a lot of resources, you get fucking lazy. And that's what we have as a lazy. And it comes to the individual all the way up to the Fortune 100 companies. They're fucking lazy. And I used to work for Waste Management, right? They'll go retrieve $1 million worth of cardboard, and the leadership, I won't blame the leadership is all about recycle. But the entry level worker, man, they're going to do what's best for them that day.
Well, you also have to you have to understand how to recycle, because you know what? Here's the thing. I didn't know this before, but if you put pizza boxes with cardboard, you can't recycle them.
Can't recycle. It's the grease and the cheese. And I love that analogy, right? All cardboard's equal until you put grease on it and cheese and wax. Oh yeah, no wax. Yeah, all your wax boxes. So the I used to work at a pizza restaurant, and we used to get our chicken delivered in wax covered boxes and bags.
And
or a lot of people they put fucking shopping bags and trash bags in the recycling. I'm like,
no,
it's the worst fucking thing. Worst thing.
And I was I mean, we had a big warehouse at one point. You saw it. It's a 7,000 square foot warehouse. It's pretty big, I mean, it wasn't small. And we had a pretty good setup for recycling. But here's the other downside. This is why it's very important. You have to do the math before you just go out and start trying to be green, because you got to afford to be green. I know it sounds crazy, but
no, you have to do it. You have to do it.
You have to, because it costs time and money. And the one thing we did, we started recycling styrofoam. Now here's the thing about styrofoam, right? Most of the time, it's bulky as shit and it weighs nothing, which means it's going to take up the most valuable thing in your warehouse, and it's space. So we were like, okay, how do we make this profitable, or not even profitable? How do we make it efficient? So we would do styrofoam runs to this local foam manufacturer, and they would actually came by and say, hey, look, this is the kind of foam you can recycle. This is the kind of foam we can't do shit with. And they broke it down for us. And they said, if there's any paint on it, we can't touch it. So that's also important, is whenever you're doing this kind of business, man, if you're not teaching or you're not learning shit to grow or how to get better at your processes, then might as well fucking hang it up now and go deliver pizzas, man, because you're going to run into issues where you have to know knowledge.
Let's say there's 10 things. Let's say there's 10 things you can recycle, right? Let's real quick. You and me. Let's just jam this out, right? I'm going to say ferrous metal, non-ferrous, right? There's 1 and 2. Cardboard, whatever. Cardboard's 3. Clothes are 4. What do you got? Glass 5. Plastic 6.
Mattresses.
Foam. Mattresses 7. Did you say foam? Foam is 8. Horse shit, baby. Horse shit. Make the list. What's 10? What's one more oddball thing that you can recycle? And we do wood chips. We'll say fucking wood chips, right? So real wood.
I mean, any green waste. Any green waste.
Right. Okay, so there's 10 things.
That's 11.
Concrete. There's 11. All right. Whatever. We said 10. All right. The challenge is people that get in this business, they want to do all 10. And what it is no. You got to master one. Right? And that's where I break down ferrous and non-ferrous metal. I'll argue, right? It is better just to separate metal. If you're separating metal, that's a starting point. Take it all to the scrapyard. Then over time, you'll be like, oh, why is someone cutting the cord on that? Well, that's fucking, low grade, wire, right? It's worth cutting the cord on, right? Because it's worth $1.80 a pound versus 11 cent, 12 cent on the sheet iron. Also, sheet iron up to $300 a ton right now. Yeah. Ridiculous. I've seen up to $330 a ton.
It's like $280 over here.
I was nerding out to the
It's like $280 over here.
Yeah, it's $280 here. $330 was in Portland. That's this app that I use, iScrap app.
Yeah.
No fucking plug. I use it. It's okay. It gives great prices. Not really. It's not very good here in Milwaukee because none of the scrap yards are hooked up to it. So I still gotta call in my prices. Anyways, all right. So we got 10 different SKUs. We just talked about 10 different. I'll call them SKUs, right? That's what they are. 10 different products that you can recycle. The challenge is people try doing all 10, and what you got to do is master 1 and then move on to 2. Because there's going to come a point where you're like, it's not worth it. Like, I never recycled styrofoam. And I remember you told me that you did it. I was like, oh, badass. Badass as fuck. Like, I'm going to look into this. And I called like 12 places. I was all fucking hyped. And I got like, people are like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, you can't recycle styrofoam. And I was so irritated. And I haven't thought about it since. Right. But now, on the other hand, like, oh, we both do mattresses. It sounds good. You're getting $5 a piece. I'm getting no dollars a piece. But it's worth it. Right. We both do scrap. We both bale our own cardboard. Right. I never ran into a horse shit problem. Don't do it. Concrete, recycle it all the time. Like the fucking yard 6 blocks.
Yeah.
So, but it's better to figure it out. Like even concrete, it's real simple. It is 6 blocks away, and it is a non-charge for me to drop off concrete. It's $0.
And the problem has to match the solution, though.
100%. I don't get that much concrete. And when I do get it, I put it in a dump trailer. I drive it there. I dump it out. I pull forward. I lower my gate. I get fucking sprayed on my way out. They crush it and turn it into TP, and I drive over another day.
And
I remember one time I tried to exchange them. I was like, hey, can I exchange shitty concrete, just block or whatever we had for TP? They're like, No. I'm like, all right, because TP is $5 a yard. Like, it's not expensive. I'm sorry, $5 a ton. Not expensive, but I was like, oh, can I barter it? Like, no, fuck you. But all right, cool. I tried.
Well, and that's the thing is,
right?
What's crazy is what we found out was a lot of stuff that may be recyclable, like up north, ain't recyclable down here, or they only have limited resources. So, like for instance, for us, there's 2 big tire recycling companies in the state of Texas that I've found, and they control the market. So, like, what they'll do is they'll come and get them from you, but then it's like a 2 or 3 hour drive just to go drop them off. Now, also, and this is crazy, I found this out too, just doing research. One thing I got really big into was construction site cleanup. And if anybody who's ever done a lot of it like I have, there's zero profit. Like, it's the most bullshit thing because those builders are on a budget and they don't give a fuck about trash. And guess what? They don't care what you do with it either. Well, for us, we are like, how do we get more efficient? Well, they recycle gypsum or drywall, but they don't do it down here unless you go like 4 or 5 hours west to the only fucking gypsum plant that there is. So how am I supposed to afford that? Am I supposed to, hey, builders, in order for me to be more green and efficient, I need to upcharge you a lot more? No, they're going to be like, that's not my problem. We just want it gone.
Yeah.
Well, up north in Colorado, they do, like, it's almost standard. You got sheetrock. This is where you take it. This is how you dispose of it. You know.
And our C&D facility here in Milwaukee shut down like 6 years ago because it wasn't cash flow positive. The only thing that they were making money on was asphalt shingles. But by the time they took all the other shit in and then separated all the other shit, and it was a waste management facility. I used to work for Waste. I'll give Waste credit where credit's due. They do a lot of things, and at the end of the day, they got stockholders and shareholders and people that fucking matter. And if they're losing money doing something, they're out, right? They can put fucking Think Green on the side of fucking trucks. At the end of the day, they are thinking green, the almighty fucking dollar. Yeah. Right? I mean, because it has to be cash flow positive. And I'm not a fan of government legislation. I hate it. I think less government. What ultimately needs to happen is local recyclers and local junk removal companies need to partner and find ways to be more efficient and then convince the consumer it's worth the whatever to go with our services or products. I got a guy, I did an e-waste drive this last weekend for a real estate company. I'm going to do 12 e-waste drives this weekend, right? Free of charge. But we picked up between 5,000 and 6,000 pounds of e-waste. I haven't processed it yet. You know, and on the high end, I'm going to get 34 cents a pound for computers. I know that. And on the low end, it's going to cost me $40 a fucking monitor. I only charge $25 a monitor. I'm going to have to adjust.
Oh, so you charge, right?
So my guys, $25 for LCDs. LCDs, plasmas, DLPs, that's fine. None of that shit. But the challenge is, right, or now, not challenge, the opportunity I have is, I got a couple of e-waste recyclers, but I got a guy out of Missouri that wants to come up and buy my e-waste. And it's like a $200 port charge. He'll take 13 pounds of the crap.
Dustin.
What's that? Yeah, Dustin, hit me up on Facebook Messenger because he's like,
I introduced you.
Looks like you're back in the hustle.
Yeah.
I know you did.
I don't know how he makes money.
I have never met the guy. I talked to him. So anyway, but here's what's up. This guy, there's probably 30 or 40 e-waste recyclers between him and I.
More.
Right, I know there's a shitload in Chicago.
Yeah.
But this guy wants the fucking shit. He wants to fucking hustle. So he'd probably get my business, even though I got another one that's a mile and a half away that I've worked with, that I enjoy working with. But what needs to happen here is junk removal companies have to find those relationships with cash flow positive, it's efficient. And then we have to express to people, why come to us? Why pay the premium? That will ultimately get people to the warm fuzzy. Most Americans want to do the right thing, but they don't know how. It's our obligation to figure it out. And even with these e-waste days, I don't charge the end consumer. I don't charge the real estate company. I'm going to bank on there's more coming in of the good stuff that I can resell that offsets my cost, or not recycle really, right? It pays for it. And people aren't looking for money. They just want to know they're doing the right thing. At the end of the day, right, it is what? I read this stat recently. This is like as of like 2004, so I don't know how dated it is. Or 2014 maybe, I don't fucking know. But it was e-waste accounts for 70% of the toxins in the landfill, while it represents only 2% of the actual space.
I believe it.
Right, I'm actually going to pull
And
it up
probably
right now
mostly
to cite it
batteries.
appropriately.
You know?
Oh yeah, batteries, anything with fucking lead in it. So your fucking TVs, right? There's tons of shit.
Well, that's the other thing is, so like, just keep adding to this recycling. Like, whoever's fucking watching, you better take notes on this one. This one, I'm making a list here. But like, batteries alone, just to let you know, you can't just recycle all batteries all the same because they're not the same. Like car batteries,
no,
absolutely. Lead acid car batteries, pile them up. Get a crate.
There's good fucking money in that.
Yeah.
2015, the EPA Waste Resource Conservatives, Common Waste and Materials E-Cycling.
Yeah.
April 11th, 2015. There's your site of the day. That way I don't look like a fucking complete asshole.
Well, we even learned how to recycle.
And the other one is
like drill batteries, man.
The other one's 2007. Yeah, lithium. Actually, I was in you know what? I was in American Recycler magazine years ago, probably 3 years ago, talking about this exact topic because there's some things like alkaline batteries, they can go right in the landfill, right? That's weird, right? But and then there's other one. There, obviously you got your lithium batteries. That's the biggest issue right now with fucking cobalt that they're mining the shit out of, or the Chinese are mining the shit out of cobalt in Africa. And then there's lithium. They're fucking pulled out. Anyways, and we're the United States. Like, you think fucking electric cars are expensive now? They're gonna get more expensive as China controls more of the market. Way off topic, and they're gonna get even more expensive, or should get more expensive, when we start having fucking junkyards full of lithium batteries when there's no place to put them. Right? I feel strongly that consumers should pay for the lifetime cost of all the things they buy. So on a car, for example, you should have to buy or pre-purchase a recycling plan to recycle the fucking tires, recycle the fucking lithium, recycle the plastic, recycle all the components of your fucking car. Otherwise, it just goes in the fucking landfill.
Well, the problem with that,
and then we as a
problem with that, who gets the money?
We'll never fucking
right. And what if those people? I mean, there's a lot of issues. I hear what you're saying, though. Just like I think the same thing that goes with with wood. Wood. There's really only one way to recycle wood unless you like reuse it. And that's to chip it up. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
And you'd be surprised, man, how many times they try to say, "Hey, man, my mulch is 100% organic from this fucking region of the world," and you're like, "Okay, cool. What about all the shit that I've seen in a big ass pile that comes from fences and random other shit? Like, where's that mulch? Oh yeah, well, we dye it and we sell it.
Yeah,
exactly. You know,
I don't know how to get. I found this fucking link. I have no idea how this fucking technology works. What if I hit share? I can share my fucking screen. That's fucking.
Can you?
Look at me doing shit. Oh,
share.
Yeah. Look at this,
dude. Oh,
I'm fucking killing it, dude. American Recycle. Do you see anything? No, it's still fucking.
Well, because I haven't done it yet.
Can you see anything? No, I'm fucking sharing my screen on here.
Oh, let me back out of that.
What am I doing?
Whoa. There we go.
How do I fucking do that? No, that didn't work. You try to trouble my share? Motherfucker. I can this ain't Zoom, but I can fucking.
Hey, real quick, this isn't streaming, right?
What?
This isn't streaming, right? At this point
no, nothing's streaming.
I had a buddy wants to watch.
I have it right here. Yeah. So this came out in fuck it. Whatever. 2018. I'm looking for it.
There it is. Sweet.
There it is. No, that's not what I'm looking for. There it is. Right here. All right. There we go. Recycling efforts grows with today's appliances. Maybe this is what I was talking about, appliances. Appliances. Oh, all right. Never mind. I'm talking about appliances. Not all this Freon. All right, never mind. I'm talking about appliances on this one. All right. Well, here's American Recycler magazine. Recycling efforts growth with today's appliances. See, I typed in. I did this. I'll find it. I'll find the link. I'll share it with the masses. And go from there. Here's where I thought it was. A previous establishment that we both belonged to, but then I looked it up. I couldn't find it. It says I was in there somewhere. Yeah, but then I typed in my name and I didn't see it, so I don't know where. Yeah, we did stuff and then we got some other people got credit. Maybe they took it down.
Of course they did.
I was in whatever. Yeah, so you can.
Or your name got scrubbed.
Yeah, you can see it right here. Andy and Isaac Weins.
Mm-hmm.
Suppose the batteries. See, I almost have to Google. Just fucking look this shit up.
Yeah, don't Google my name.
Right,
You'll find some crazy shit.
Battery recycling and safety issues. There we go. I don't know. According to Andrew Weins.
This guy.
Jesus, Andrew. There was a period. I was talking to my girlfriend about that the other day. She's like, "Hey, when did you go by? Andrew?" And I know shit from 2016 to 18, 19. I went by Andrew. I thought I was an adult. Didn't fucking work. All right, here we go. Here's the article. Oh, Veolia shared this from American Recycler magazine. All right, so here we talk about cadmium. Cadmium. That's a fucking that'll fuck your world up. Yeah, cadmium, lead, mercury, nickel, lithium, and other electrolytes. Not the good electrolytes like in your Gatorade. Not sponsored by Gatorade either. Anyhow, episode 4. If you're looking to sponsor this shit show of a trash talk podcast, call Casey. Casey, put your number below.
Okay, well,
Casey will let you know. See, I typed in my name, Weins, whatever. This is my brother. I gotta get rid of the word.
let me look at my Google number and I'll give it to you.
On the other side of this, he'll make us smart on how to. Yeah. All right, there's too much of it. Anyways, all right, I'll share this link somehow. Taylor, my guy, to share things. He found it. I don't know how to share it in the shit. He'll share it. Whatever. There we go. And we also can learn about appliances today. So here, learn about appliances, learn about batteries, and why you should recycle them. Actually, lead batteries. We got like $500 for a fucking Gaylord of lead batteries the other day. I don't know what the exact weight was. I just have to look it up. Terrible research ability on my part. I don't know why I still got this shit lined up. What are you doing? Are you looking at my screen still? No? You're good? I don't know what he's fucking typing. Anyhow, what are you fucking doing? What are you writing?
48. My number.
He's fucking. Oh, you're writing your. Oh, it's your number. Did you write it backwards so people can see it? No, that ain't fucking. I can't see that. No one can see that.
Really?
It's terrible. What is the number?
817.
What is it?
381 0148.
So hot. So wait, why is that your? What do you mean that's your Google number?
Yeah, so I have a Google number just so not
folder?
everybody can text and call my actual cell phone number. It'll go to my Google Voice account, and it records everything, text messages. It's free.
I fucking hate the Google Voice.
Free.
I know. I fucking hate it. I got a Pixel. I'm a non-Apple motherfucker. And I hate the Google Voice.
Me too. Samsung.
Yeah, that's what's up. See, we're the last two. We're holding
And people
out.
hate me for it.
I know. God, they're like green bubbles, and I was like, yeah.
No,
I
they'll be like,
fucking know.
"Oh, you have an Android?" And I'm like,
what the fuck is that all about?
It's paid off too, motherfucker. So what's up?
Again, I have yet to figure out with Apple products if I am too smart or too dumb. Right? I don't know what it is. And I love Steve Jobs. I whatever.
I like Bill Burr's take
his
on Steve Jobs. I think Steve Jobs was just kind of lazy. Like, hey, I have this great idea. I need everybody to get on it and figure this shit out for me.
Yeah, button. We do everything with one button. Well, he had the design in mind. He had the design and the artist feel and the end user in mind. He was a fucking genius. Bill Gates, complete opposite, right? It was all about the software and how does the software and what's good for him and how do you write the code. Also, Steve Jobs, raging fucking asshole, right? Got kicked out of the company he founded, left, started a new fucking company, started kicking ass with it, but maybe got out in front of his skis a little bit. That was with Next. And then Apple's like, hey, let's see if you can do it again. And he's like, yeah, I can do it again. And he really didn't change a whole lot as a person. He just found people that could put up with him. And then he surrounded himself with people that could put up with him because he was a fucking asshole. Didn't have a lot of people skills. Huge fan of him. Huge fan. And when you're a visionary at the level he was casting vision, and the shit he was talking about, no shit people couldn't keep up with him because he couldn't be bothered with people that were fucking anchors on the boat that is fucking Steve Jobs.
Let me ask you a question. Since we're on this topic real quick, how about the recent news of Mr. Elon Musk taking over Twitter?
Yeah, I mean, by the time this airs, maybe the answer will be already there. Absolutely. I am here. Here's what I'm a big fan of. First Amendment. Huge fan. Dave Chappelle, I think, is the best line ever, maybe since the founding
You get to
fathers.
see him live,
about
too.
the
That's
First
not
Amendment.
fair.
I did get to see him live. This was right before his special came out, and he did his special essentially live. It was fucking on point at the Summerfest grounds here in Milwaukee. He was on point. But anyways, I was like 700 fucking rows up, so it wasn't like I, smoked a cigarette with him, but I still saw him live. Anyhow, what he says is, right, paraphrasing, right, the First Amendment's important, and in case those motherfuckers want to fuck with it, that's why we got the Second Amendment, right? Big fan. So here's why I love Elon Musk. First off, he looks like a goddamn villain in every movie, right? When he's got the wavy hair and like the black and gray, whatever. Huge fan, right? I like the fact he's like, yeah, I'm taking over this shit. But here's why I love Elon Musk. First, right, when he came out with PayPal, and he's essentially decentralizing the banks, and he's allowing people to perform commerce without the fucking treasury involved, without the banks, right? They said it can't be done. Well, he sold that thing for a few shekels to eBay because it was like, oh, this actually does work. Wait, this whole internet thing? Yeah, we can do banking commerce without the banks. Yeah, let's do that. Right? And then he starts Tesla. He's like, I want to make an electric vehicle. And Chevy's like, no, we got that. Remember the vote? Yeah, that didn't work. And he's like, no, fuck your couch. And what did he do? He did it.
The Power Wheels for human adults.
Exactly. And then he goes out and says, hey, I'm going to start a SpaceX. I'm going to start a company that makes rockets. And what does he know about rockets? Nothing. It was to a point where he couldn't recruit the best rocket scientists in the world because they wanted nothing to do with him because they go work for real places like NASA. What a joke they've become. And then the rocket scientists that were available, he's like, I'm smarter than these people. They're not like, right? Again, it's like the person that graduates last of medical school. They're still a doctor, but probably not the doctor you want working on you. Anyways, so he's like, I guess I'll be the chief engineer of the fucking rocket. And he did it. And he was at a point, I think it was 2008, 2009-ish, when the recession hit, he was down like $55 million. He was at a point where he said, okay, he had both companies going. He said, okay, do I take the $50 million and go into Tesla or $50 million in SpaceX? Do I close both companies? Do I close or do I keep them both open? Right? He had 4 options. Tesla, SpaceX, keep his money, both. And he went both. He's like, fuck that. We're doing both. Right? I want the peach cobbler and the fucking apple pie. I want fucking both. And he did it. And here's what's fucked up. PayPal, they told him he couldn't do it. Those in power. Tesla, they said he couldn't do it. Those in power. And what's fucked up is with SpaceX, he was told by, I don't know if it was Neil Armstrong or Buzz or whoever it was, but it was some of those first astronauts told him it was dangerous, what he was doing.
Oh, yeah.
And it broke him. It broke his soul that the people he looked up to, the people he admired, said, no, you can't do it. And he fucking went after it. And this is what I love about that. I recently had this argument with a few people about, do I, Andy, go out of my way to be disliked, despised? Right? No, I don't. I got kicked out of being a platoon sergeant. I got kicked out of a fucking Veterans Chamber of Commerce. I got railroaded and pushed out of a fucking franchise organization. No, but I'm going to challenge you, Casey, and everybody else listening. Right? Push yourself in your conviction that you're fine with rejection.
Yeah.
That's the fucking goal. That's why I love Musk. So now he's at the point where these motherfuckers are swallowing the quote-unquote poison pill. He's like, that's fine. I'm going to push it. The ultimate goal of the board of directors is to maximize the shareholder profits. He gave them that opportunity, and they're like, no, we don't want that. We're going to do something else because they're afraid of him.
Well,
he's always been
he wasn't scared of being unpopular or failure. He is like, look, this is what I believe in, and I'm going to figure this out. You can get on board or not.
I'm going to figure it the fuck out. That's it. And I hope like a motherfucker he gets Twitter and he opens up the algorithm so everybody can see what the fuck's going on.
They just made a deal today.
Right? He undeleted it.
They accepted the deal today.
Oh, it fucking went through? What the fuck? I'm like 6 hours behind life?
Like 44 billion.
What the fuck? Taylor's sitting right behind me, and he's like,
"You should fire all your."
Oh yeah, there's fucking live update. Jesus.
Yeah, man.
After all this he fucking did.
Yeah.
I don't see it. 38 minutes ago, they reached deal. See, this is why I got research ahead of time. I can tell you scrap prices from yesterday.
Hey,
54.20 a share.
yeah.
Let's fucking go. Taylor just said 50. He said 420. Taylor's a skinny motherfucker that is not a pothead, but
Well, what's
maybe
crazy is, it's look.
Let's fuck.
Everybody has someone they look up to, but here's what I realize: like, I don't want to take over the world, but I'd like to do a little bit of change where I can, and.
Yeah.
It honestly starts with little movements, and you can't go out there and expect to change everything at once and be successful because you're not going to do it. But what you can do is go out there and make small adjustments. And then next thing you know, you look back and say, holy shit, like out of these 50 adjustments, I've made 10 already. If I just keep going, everything's going to change before I even realize they're changing because I'm actually trying to do it responsibly. Now, I know we kind of drifted off the topic of recycling, but that's also why it's called trash talk is whatever. But the biggest thing in this kind of business, it can be the biggest vehicle to your future if you let it. Because that's what it did for me. I mean, honestly. And I remember you told me that. In the very beginning, you're like, this is a vehicle.
The problem in the world is everyone wants to do a fucking 180 constantly. Oh, this doesn't look good. Let's go back here. No, yeah. It's one degree of change over fucking time. Like, hey, I'm not doing it. I'm going to do it a little bit. But 1 degree of change over time, right now you're not even close to where you were before.
Yeah.
And now if you can move 5 degrees, 10 degrees, 12, 20 degrees, right? Now you're on to fucking something. And if you're just doing 180s, you always just go back to where you fucking came from. And you only get what you already had. But yeah, 1 degree of change over time is the fucking math on it, right? It's like compounding interest. It's fucking insane. Yeah. And that's where we need to go with our words. And yeah, fucking Trash Talk Podcast. We just say words. Like, it is what it is. I'm a big fan, a huge fan. Let's go. And keep doing this, right? Like, even you and I, right? We could sit here and piss and moan and say, oh, we missed the mark on podcasts, or no, we don't have enough to offer. No, we're going to fucking say some words. We're going to throw it against the fucking wall, see what sticks. If we get better at our craft, we understand more about each other. We understand more about ourselves, and we have the opportunity to share that with other people. That's why we're doing.
Well, that's the thing is,
that's why we signed up.
I have 4 people that have texted me strictly about this podcast. Like, hey, where can I stream it? And it's just 4 people that I personally keep in touch with. It's not even 4 randoms. I mean, imagine the random people that are out there trying to figure their shit out. And all they need is just a little bit of guidance. I mean, I'm not saying we have all the answers, but if we share our experiences, even if you get one new thing from us, it's way better than not getting shit.
It's true. Speaking of one new thing, I got to go hop on a fucking another call. May 2nd, do we want to launch a podcast next Monday? I mean,
I'm down, man.
Here. All right. Taylor's down. I'm down. All right. There you go. There's the answer. May 2nd, new podcast. I'll get a fucking QR code from Taylor. I got a big event tomorrow here. Have people sign up, and they'll be the first to find out. And your people. All right. May 2nd. Done. All right. Well, you know what? And also for all the people, this is how transparent we are. Like, when we get off the call, there is no more like, hey, let's have a real conversation now. No, like, I have to go fucking work. All right. So for all of you at home, I'm Andy Weins. That's Casey Bubba Lawrence. There's no fucking sponsors. We got nobody to thank except for you, the audience, hanging out, putting up with us for the last 46 and some odd minutes of the time. We love to, now that we got this thing rocking and rolling and we've stamped it, sealed, approved that we're going to do this thing. We want to hear from you. What do you want us to talk about? Casey, and I got plenty of ideas what we want to talk about, but we're also interested in hearing what you want us to talk about. So, Andy Weins, for Casey Bubba Lawrence, thank you for joining us on the Trash Talk Business Podcast.